Hello and welcome to the D20 Magic Show. My name is Mike. This is Bill. Do a quick introduction of ourselves, and then we'll get into some topics. Bill, you top eighted St. Louis.
I did in 2012.
2012. Well, that's getting on 3 years ago now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Multiple Star City IQ top eights.
Couple wins.
So you've top 32 to a couple PTQs as well.
I have.
Mostly known in the Wisconsin-Minnesota area as a reanimator player and hater of standard. My name is Mike. I played in both Colorado and Wisconsin. I top eighted multiple PTQs, won a bunch of TCG player events over in Colorado at Tama Goblin and Crimson Dragon. No, that's the one in Minnesota. What is it? Forgot what it was. It was Gargoyle Games or something like that. It was a good shop. I liked it. I day two to a couple GPs, and that's basically where it comes down to. So this new set has Monastery Mentor in it. There's been a lot of hype about the card. Star City wrote dissenting articles about it, whether it be for Monastery Mentor or against Monastery Mentor. A lot of people think the prowess mechanic doing other things other than just giving the +1/+1 bonus is exploitable.
Yeah, I would definitely say so. I think it's definitely going to make an impact on Standard, as shown today so far that it's been being ran with triplicate spirits.
Yeah.
Which seems pretty good. And then also in Modern, you get free spells like Get Probe and other Phyrexian mana stuff. And I can see it actually making a splash in Legacy too, where we have even more free spells.
Well, not only you have free spells, but a lot of your spells are able to be cast defensively. Yeah. So, like your Force of Will, your prowess tokens don't have haste. So being able to cast the Force of Will defensively, almost gives them pseudo haste as they're on the field.
Mm-hmm. And also with more cantrips, it makes it awesome.
Oh yeah, especially when you can just brainstorm preordained ponder all in one turn and be like, swing? Is that it? Okay. But no, Monastery Mentor seems pretty bonkers. It'll be interesting to see how it affects Modern, just because there's less frequency of free spells, but there's still free spells. And if it'll go into the same shell as a Young Pyromancer, is basically like Young Pyromancer 4 through 8, or 5 through 8, sorry. Because the effect is kind of different from Young Pyromancers, and it survives a lot more.
Yeah, it can survive a Pyroclasm just if you cast a spell in response.
Yeah, that, and your entire field doesn't die to Electricity Overloaded.
Yes. I'm going to cast Electricity Overloaded. I'm just going to do anything.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and I think that's a big plus it has going forward. Of course, it's in that 3-mana slot, which makes it a little awkward for some decks. I know a lot of the white, mid-rangey type decks really like Bramaz. I really like Bramaz as a card. It's super sweet, but I don't know if Mentor can take over for Bramaz, or if it's just run right alongside Bramaz. And like you've been saying, do we run Army in a can?
Yeah. We pack it with Rabblemaster as your high-end, and just go for all the tokens and a whole bunch of burn and defensive spells and see what happens.
And at that juncture, like if we're running that many token spells, can we start running things effectively like collateral damage? Because let's face it, another bolt effect in like a red-white shell where we got Rabblemaster, Mentor. Like, you get another token from Mentor, you get another token from Pyromancer, at the cost of doing 3 damage to your opponent, discarding a card, and sacking a token you made. So, it seems like a pretty good trade, even though, obviously, Lightning Bolt's going to be better in that scenario, but...
It's a lot like Cabal Therapy was with Young Pyromancer and the Grixis Legacy Delverless.
Yeah.
When the flashback sacrifice a creature doesn't matter, because you just got a token off Young Pyromancer from the first time you cast it.
Yeah, you basically get a straight free trade. The other guy that seems to be making waves here and there, I know a couple guys actually just came into the shop and bought us out of them, is the Tysger. In Modern, at the very least. I don't know if he'll really fit into Legacy that well.
I bet people will try, but I don't think he'll make the splash it will in Modern.
But Modern, you can basically get a 4/5 for way cheaper. Obviously, with fetch lands, cantrips, and things filling the graveyard, he becomes, maybe a 2-mana 4/5, which We had another 2-mana 4/5 in Modern, and his name was Goyf. I heard he was pretty good, too.
A little bit.
Now, I'm not saying Tyzegear is going to be Goyf. I'm not saying that it can't be Goyf, just that it seems like the most apt comparison at this point.
I mean, you could do something as easy like a Bugged Delverless in Modern, and you can run Tome Score, or not Thought Score, and you can mill yourself there, and that's 3 cards in your graveyard, and that makes a turn 2 Tyzegear just so much easier.
Yeah, with Fetch Lands, Tyzegear comes down, and that's... I mean, it doesn't die to Abrupt Decay. They have to path it, which... I don't know, I don't ever really feel good pathing a creature, and I don't feel bad when my creatures get pathed.
No.
It's still a great removal spell in all that respect, it's just not a feel-bad one.
No, it's definitely not blowout.
The whole dies to Doomblade argument is not relevant because he's black.
Mm-hmm. And he's a giant butt, which means they at least have to block with a 2x in order to bolt him.
Yeah,
so.
Which is also huge. Unlike Goyf, though, doesn't awkwardly survive Bolt at PTQs. I'll bolt your Goyf. Well, cool. He's now 3/4.
Spell resolves.
And then we had everyone's favorite creature type come back with dragons.
People like their dragons.
Distinct lack of dragons in Khans of Tarkir has been made up for a plethora of dragons in here. And we have the 5 allied-colored legendary dragons.
Which, at least 3 of them catch my eye.
I know my personal favorite one is still the Storm's Fury.
Yes.
The dash mechanic on him seems pretty good. Coming down at 5 mana still. You don't have
the dragons, yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to commit him to the board. You don't have to worry about him dying to removal at that point, because if he does, it has to be instant speed, and there's... Like, if they waste a hero's downfall on him, you most likely have more threats coming.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, but with Storm Breath in the format, being Red X is pretty valuable.
Yeah, you don't want to wait to your mana cost. I do think it'll complement Mardu token strategies very well.
Yeah, the whole +1/+0 for each dragon attacking, basically.
Even if it's just him attacking, that's quite the boost.
And as soon as you start getting Storm Breath in the fun, that's +2/+0, and, well, that's called going to town. The other one that I kind of like, I kind of don't like, I'm very conflicted on him, is the Blue-Black Dragon.
Yeah, I know when they first revealed him, I think he was my favorite. I think he reminds me a lot of Doomwave Giant. I don't think as easily as broken, but I think he serves a different purpose, but he's still comparable to Doomwave.
Okay. Like, I just really don't like his body. I wish his body had been, slightly more... Like, if he had been a 4/6, I probably would have been much happier with him. Now, obviously, being a 4/6 does come with his detriments, as he then dives to Elspeth in Standard, which is, I think, is something they wanted to avoid.
I think right now they actually favor him, so, I mean, he can survive Elspeth, but he can also be ran with Elspeth if you wanted.
Yeah. And he can kill Elspeth pretty effectively, too.
Yeah. Yes, he can.
He attacks once, and all the Elspeth tokens are, in fact, dead. Without a buffing effect. If you're running a buffing effect, obviously they're not.
Yeah, I think they made him a little bit too defensive with the Hexproof. I mean, he just feels overall very defensive.
Yeah. I do like the Hexproof, though, because if he didn't have Hexproof, he'd be unplayable.
Oh, yes. Yeah, he definitely needs Hexproof.
We can do the thought experiment of, if we take off Hexproof, do we lower his mana cost by 1 or 2?
Yeah.
But, at the end of the day, he has Hexproof. Hard to remove threat. The, awkwardly, I think one of the worst dragons we got was the red-green one.
It's probably just because of mana cost.
The 7 mana cost, and double strike with no other protection.
Mm-hmm. I think maybe a red-green, if he was a little bit cheaper, I think like a red-green Ram deck would like him. Something running like Xenagos, kind of Rebels, things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I can see him actually fitting into Standard, too.
Mm-hmm.
Just because Standard is kind of a slow, awkward format right now. And the thing that gets me with him, though, is just the mana cost. The double strike is nice. Like, I guess you can slam him pre-combat for your Storm Breath to get double strike, and that doesn't feel awful.
No, hitting in there for 8 with a pro-white flying double strike dragon feels good.
But other than that, the other one is the 5/5 for 5 when he attacks, or when dragons attack, bolster 2. Which I think is one of the more underrated ones. He's just in a really awkward color situation.
Yeah.
Like, the green-white decks don't necessarily hate him, but he's definitely at the top end.
Yeah, but he's fairly cheap. He's at 6, which is fine. I mean, it's a little expensive, but I think if you're gonna, he's at 5.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's a
no.
5/5 flyer for 5.
That is okay. Never mind.
He's really good and limited.
That is value. Yeah. Okay.
This is one of the dragons that Mick used to take down a pre-release.
Yes, I lost to him in the pre-release. But no, he's solid. I think he might be a little bit too expensive for an aggro strategy, but I think more of a mid-rangey like standard is now. It definitely could top off your curve.
It tops off your curve, and like again, I like talking about the synergies with Stormbreath because Stormbreath has haste, but at the same time, Stormbreath comes down the turn before, then you slam this guy, and things start getting big pretty quick.
But yeah, even if you're in just like a straight green white build or something, I mean, even putting 2 counters on, say, a 2/1 Soldier, the Pantheon, or any of the other their 2 X1s, like, it feels fine getting a 4/3.
Yeah, no, that's...
Things are becoming formidable with 2+1/+1 counters on them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Adding +2 to +2 anything is it's a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
Especially when there's no real mana investment involved. Because let's face it, I don't know about you, but I don't mind paying 5 for a 5/5 flyer.
No,
it's pretty good. Yeah. It's no Delver of Secrets, but not everything can be.
Right.
The last dragon is the blue-white one. There's not much to say about him.
It's like Frost Titan from before, and like old M11, M12. It's there, but it doesn't really see play. I don't think it's going to make a splash.
Arguably the best limited dragon, though.
Yes.
Because tapping down permanents in limited is quite strong. In constructed, it gets a little awkward.
Yeah, it's less effective in constructed.
But there's not really a whole lot to say about him. He doesn't do much.
He's there.
He's a blue-white dragon. Yeah, exactly. Now, something that I personally was very vocal about because I had high aspirations for Wizards and the format itself was the recent Banlist announcement. Obviously, a lot of people have been affected by the bannings of Treasure Cruise, Dig Through Time, and Pod in Modern. We had just built Pod.
Yep.
The Pontiff came in the mail 4 days after the ban was announced. Felt pretty bad. There was a second Pontiff at least, so, whatever.
I don't know. I know I've been playing Modern since the start of it, and Pod has always been there, and we've always looked at like, why haven't you been banned yet?
Yeah.
Repeatable tutor, and this was not even a year or two after Survival of the Fittest got banned. And it's like, how are you any different?
I think the one thing that I do understand about the Pod banning, like the one reason I don't like it is because, again, we're just restricting the power level of Modern.
Yeah.
And I think we could have done well with a format where we increase the power level and then check what's going on. Like, we increase the power level, unban, say, the 6-7 cards that a lot of people are talking about unbanning, and if Pod is still a problem, Pod's still dominating, like, even with all its value creatures, okay.
Then it's time to take a second look at it.
And then, of course, we also look at what else is dominating.
Well, yeah.
If we unban Punishing Fire, and Punishing Fire is suddenly everywhere, well, maybe we need to take a look at that as well. But like that was the main reason that I didn't like Pod, and I think it shows a lack of faith in the community to handle those types of powerful cards. But I do understand it. Treasure Cruise, I didn't play it in the format.
I did a couple times, and every time you cast it, it felt amazing.
I was going to say, while having played Vintage, I can say that the comparisons to Recall are a little awkward. But at the same time, having played it once, and that was the Modern Monday before the ban, it was pretty dumb. I treasure cruised once or twice in a turn against Brent, using only 2 mana, and I of course won that match. Surprisingly, drawing 6 cards for 2 mana won me the game. But I definitely understand the Treasure Cruise ban. It was another thing where I thought that maybe we could leave it alone and give it until March, since our next ban list announcement is pretty quick here.
Yeah.
We could leave it till March, unban a few things, revisit the format in March, and go, okay, well, we unbanned all these things. Treasure Cruise is still the most dominating thing in the format. We're done.
Yeah.
And arguably the worst ban for me, though, was Dig Through Time.
Yeah, the reasoning behind that is...
Yeah. It's not even so much that I disagree with the banning. It's not that I think Wizards is dumb for banning it. It's the reasoning behind it. If they had simply come out and said that Dig Through Time is powerful, it helps combo out a lot, and I think we think it makes the combo decks too consistent to go with these other bannings, I would have been like, okay, I don't like the reasoning, but at least it's sound reasoning.
Yeah.
But the reasoning that they think it's just as powerful as Treasure Cruise when they are completely different in a lot of ways.
They do completely different roles.
Yeah, like, we had stated that the Blue-Red Delver deck probably just one for ones them.
Yeah, Blue-Red Delver, because
you're
drawing 3 cards or getting a bolt in the card of your choice.
Yeah, you were looking for cards. That's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my main issue with Dig Through Time. Other than that, Golgari Grave Troll coming off the Banlist.
Why was it banned in the first place?
Yeah, exactly. With Dread Return banned, Golgari Grave Troll just makes Dredge fine maybe tier 7 instead of tier 12.
Yeah. People actually might try it.
Treasure Cruise banned in Legacy. I don't like it. I don't hate it. I'm pretty indifferent towards it. I never played it, really. I helped a few people build decks with Treasure Cruise, but
I've been on both sides of it, and playing against it, I can understand why people would want it banned. I can also understand that I can play around it. And then playing with it, it just feels amazing. But it shifted the meta. It definitely did. And
the thing that I thoroughly enjoy about it is that it really made graveyard strategies viable again, too.
Yeah.
Because people don't want to hate out graveyards. Like, Rest in Peace became, like, from main deckable to,
It became in your sideboard just for Dredge and Reanimator.
Yeah.
Which is awesome when Miracles is putting them in the side, because it just increased my matchup for Reanimator.
Yeah, and, like, Dredge won the Star City Open not too long after Treasure Cruise became legal and became popular. And, like, there was 4 lists in the top 16 of Dredge. That's the kind of format I want to play in.
Right.
But I think if we had given it a little more time to adapt, like I said, the next Banlist announcement is in March. I think we could have maybe given it a couple months.
Yeah, I think definitely with Legacy, where we have Deathrite Shaman that could eat graveyards and can make you pay more than 1 for Treasure Cruise.
There was a definite reasoning for the ban, and I don't hate it, but I do like giving time for the format to develop. World Gorger Dragon, I think it's the same story as Golgari Grave Troll.
I think it's most comparable to Land Tax. When Land Tax came off, everybody's freaking out making lists with it. The price spiked up, and then now nobody cares.
Yeah, it didn't actually do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't make any deck better, it didn't make any other deck worse.
Which maybe we'll see some cool, like, Tin Fin's alternate deck or something like running World Gorger, but in the end...
World Gorger and Stroke of Genius?
Yeah.
I mean, I'd probably tinker with that.
It sounds interesting.
I don't know if I'd actually play it in a competitive tournament, but...
For messing around with in a local tournament, sounds fun.
Yeah. I think I can definitely get on board with the quick combo. But, and the last thing doesn't really affect you because you haven't played much. I've been starting to play more Vintage recently. The unrestriction of gifts ungiven, the only thing I'm going to say about it is that it's pretty dumb. Not in the fact that I think it's bad, or that Wizards shouldn't have done it, but more so in the fact that it's an instant speed tutor for 4 cards. Instant speed tutor for 4 cards. And now we get 4 of them.
Yeah, and what's the worst that happens? 2 cards that you might have wanted go in your graveyard, which, oh no, I can't use my graveyard.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
I've never played Yogg-Will in my life. I don't know what you're talking about.
What is this graveyard?
Yeah, I feel like, to be honest, I think it's actually great for Vintage because the format does get stagnant and stale. Mm-hmm. But at the same time,
I like the reason's like, hey, we restricted this and it kind of stopped seeing play, so we want to shake things up. We'll just unrestrict it and see what happens.
Yeah, what's the worst that could happen?
That's confidence in the player base, or just lack of caring.
So we didn't go over it at the beginning, but we're actually currently at D20. There's some role players here, so the background noise during this video is most likely them having fun, probably dying. We are at a game store. This is D20 Legendary Tabletop Games in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. We're open 7 days a week. We play Modern on Mondays, EDH on Wednesdays, Standard on Thursdays. F&M, we normally have 2, most likely 3 drafts. We normally hold bigger events on Saturdays and our $5 Sunday Legacy.
Yep.
It's a pretty sweet shop. I like it. This is one of the best card selections I've seen, especially in the northwest Wisconsin area.
Definitely for Chippewa Valley, yes.
But we thankfully have the great burden, maybe? I don't know, of making our big announcement here where on April 11th we will be holding a Modern event. April 11th is a Saturday. The Modern event will be a Grand Prix trial for GP Vegas, Modern Masters 2, everyone's new favorite baby that they're saving up for.
Right? The value from the first one. The second one's going to be good.
Yeah. The first place person at this event will actually receive registration, flight, and hotel to GP Vegas. So, if GP Vegas is something that you've been wanting to do and you're kind of in our area, I think this is something you should definitely check out.
If you pretty much we're setting you up to win the GP. It's if you want the best chance of winning, you come here, you win this, you get 2 buys and free airfare, hotel, and entry. You pretty much come here, win, and then just go there and dominate.
Yeah. Hopefully you get a good sealed pool. It is Modern Masters sealed, hosted by our friend of Channel Fireball. I've been to a couple of their GPs, and they do a great job. Like that's one thing I can definitely say about them is they do a great job.
They know
GPs.
what they're doing.
Yeah, something about having pro players everywhere,
whatever,
just makes a big difference. It's going to be one of the biggest events too, being a part of history. Like the banner that I just put on the event on our Facebook page, make history, and it's definitely going to be one of those. Like if you remember GP Vegas from a couple years ago,
the biggest one in America.
Yeah. It's not going to get better or bigger than this.
No, this is the end all be all of sealed GBs.
Yep, and like we said, Modern Masters 2, big value. We already know S Champion, Emrakul, many more have speculated on different cards. I, for one, made the statement that Serum Visions should be reprinted like Clue Stones. You get 4 in every pack.
I don't think anybody will argue.
No. I don't think anyone feels good about paying $7 for Serum Visions.
No.
But, yeah, that's our show. We'll be back kind of weekly, kind of bi-weekly, depending on how we feel. We have 2 other members of Team D20 that I'll be sitting down with, and we'll be introducing them. We'll probably have a longer interview with Bill so you can get to know him a little bit better. But thanks for watching.
Thank you.